right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Honcast once again, and what is, of course, now the Honcast Podcast, as promised here, going to be coming at you here. So again, the Honcast Podcast, as it usually is, just going to be having some fun talking about good old competitive heroes of New Earth here, and not only Hon Tour, but a couple other things, and some fun discussions. Even we're going to interact with you guys and get your opinions, you the viewers, on them as well. So as you can see, kind of a, I want to say like a star-studded cast here, man. We got a fun amount of co-casters here today. Of course, myself, also joined by, as usual, Mini Maggot. Mini Maggot, we'll start with you. How's it going?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Obviously, we just finished casting the little tournament we had there, and just looking forward to talk about some competitive on.
Casted that tournament, yes, you could say that. No, that was it was a lot of fun. It really was, and it's a good change of pace to have that. Of course, the Quincy's Good Stomp tournament. So, speaking of that, of course, of Sync Esports Insania coming off that 2-0 victory. I bet he's feeling pumped after that. Insania, how you doing, man?
We're doing good. Just gotta play fun mid-wars / rift wars. Best of 3, you don't get to do that every day.
No.
And we won, so yeah, feels good.
All right, well, excited to have you on here on the cast. And looking forward to seeing your opinions on certain topics here. Of course, and then also Probusk making a comeback. He did such a great time last time that we decided to bring him back. How's it going?
Wow, such compliments. Going pretty good after that compliment.
I love
the
crystal clear quality, man, of that webcam. I still can't compare it. I mean, it's just so perfect, man. That's what webcam is that?
It is a Logitech C920. You make it sound like I'm sponsored by Logitech. Jesus.
Just saying.
It's like $120, I think, and it's full HD. It's pretty good. Man, we just making ads for those Logitech.
We should, games. Man. We should get sponsored. We'll see about that.
Yeah.
All right, though. With that said, though, again, we got, as usual, some fun things to talk about. Of course, a lot of it's going to be on Hon Tour, both Cycle 3 recap as well as Cycle 4, but we got our power rankings to go over, and even some things in Global Heroes of New Earth. Of course, CIS and Southeast Asia especially. There's definitely some fun things that are worth noting and bringing to you guys' attention. Of course, as far as news goes, I know it's not the easiest to get that information all the time, so definitely do our part to get that out there. And that's another reason why we do these podcasts, of course. So, with that said, let's get right into it here. Cycle number 3, of course, in the books, and officially, in case you didn't hear, Sync Esports. Oh, that was my phone right there. Sync Esports actually taking the victory for the 3rd straight cycle. Just doing work yet again. Of course, they took out Willowkeeper 3 games to 1 of the grand finals. Again, the brackets, as you see on your screen, and how it ultimately all played out. Nothing, I guess, almost too surprising in the end, but definitely had some good series. And even the grand finals, we had a lot of fun with that. So, now, with that said, again, unlike past podcasts, we kind of did this on a previous one too, as those are notes right there, but we want to make this more of a kind of a discussion show. So that brings us to our first question here. Which of these teams had the most surprising result here with Cycle 3? Of course, the ones that I had on the list were Bad Monkey Gaming finishing 3rd place, The Last of Us finishing 4th place, or even Reason Gaming finishing 5th, 6th. Maybe you could see that as almost as disappointing to an extent. So go across the panel here. Mini Mac, we'll start with you. What do you think here?
I mean, I think it has to be Bad Monkey Gaming finishing 3rd. They've had a few kind of shaky starts, obviously. They initially came in expecting them to be sort of a top 3 team instantly, but they've had a few, obviously they had the big roster change after initial BMG, but they've had a few shaky starts, losing to a few teams I probably should have lost to. But now, I think it's the most surprising because there's a few questions unanswered about BMG, but I guess now they're starting to be answered now, and I think that's the most surprising because Last of Us, finishing 4th was quite impressive, and Reason Gaming, they were still going through some roster changes as well, so I think that's both kind of to be expected. So
yeah,
to me, BMG finishing 3rd was the most surprising to me anyway.
All right, Insania, what about you? What do you think?
I think Reason Gaming not making top 4 is probably the biggest surprise to me. I think both Imbaboy and Zane are incredibly good players. And then the 3 that they've taken in are old school experienced players. They got the experience now. Maybe they're just lacking some mechanical skill. But I definitely think they're going to do a lot better this cycle.
Yeah. All right. We'll see how that moves on into Cycle 4, of course. And then Probusk, you were big on Reason Gaming in the last podcast. Again, finishing 5th, 6th. What was your team maybe most surprising?
Yeah, I agree with Insania. I also think that Reason Gaming finishing 5th/6th was a little bit lower than I would have expected them to be. I actually feel like the lineup of players is pretty strong, and the new leader Price seems to be doing a really good job. So maybe a little bit surprising. That's not bad by any means, of course. But maybe like fourth would be more so expected.
Yeah. Well, obviously the reason why they got finished 5th, 6th place was because they got knocked out by The Last of Us, and who actually has a new name, which we'll get into shortly as well. Night Raid, I believe, is their new name. But anyways, yeah. So The Last of Us, let's get a look at the brackets here. They're the ones that knocked him out. They actually won 2-0 in that series even. So for me, I mean, that's where I would have to go, personally, as far as answering the question. The most surprising would have to be The Last of Us. I mean, it's kind of the mix of the two, where Reason Gaming sure may be a little bit disappointing, but hey, The Last of Us, they really showed that they're a team to reckon with, definitely. And again, this is kind of that newer team to an extent, as far as it's not even the same Last of Us that we knew at the beginning of the season, yet they still made it work and eventually got knocked out, of course, by Bad Monkey Gaming, but did enough in the end to get there. So it seems like BMG was the only one that none of us really brought up there. They finished third. They even took a game, the first game, off of Willowkeeper before losing 2-1. BMG was an interesting team, though. Again, on the last podcast, we're kind of talking about them, not sure what to expect. They had maybe a disappointing finish in the previous cycle. Do you guys feel that BMG is kind of getting their groove back, and they're going to be a team to really reckon with moving forward now? Mini Maggot?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Bad Monkey Gaming. Should teams be worried, or is it more of what
should they be worried? BMG. I think they should be, honestly. Like, we already know that they have the great individual skill. Like, these are practically Legends players, like obviously Haxrin and Tankfair. They've been, the top of the game before, and they can definitely be the top of their game again as well. I mean, the biggest issue that people had, or that BMG had as a team before, was because they really weren't practicing. And I think we had the interview with Haxrin as well, saying that his team has been screaming more. They've been practicing more. He's been getting back into the game, and they've been enjoying Hon as well. So, with that in mind, there's a lot more improvement that BMG can make. Like, if the team can't improve, then they've sort of stagnated. They've plateaued. They can't get any better. But BMG, they were making quite a few misplays, and they still finished third. So if they can rectify those mistakes, imagine what they could do. Like, and they could be top 2, even top 1. Who knows? Yeah. But I think teams should definitely be worried.
Now, Sandy, I know you've had some strong opinions about this team. We had you on the cast even when casting them, but what do you think about BMG? Do you kind of feel like things are kind of connecting a little bit more, or are you still kind of the same opinion as before?
No, my opinion about BMG hasn't really changed. I feel like if these players say that, you know what, let's do it, let's go for it, they're probably going to be our hardest opposition in Han right now. But they're not. They're not trying. They're not putting their effort in. And when you're not trying hard enough, you're never going to be able to beat the best. And right now, there's such an uncoordinated team that it feels like as long as we're decisive in our decision making, they're always going to back down. They're always going to fall flat on their faces. But of course, you're going to have games where they just magically click, and that's when they're dangerous. You always got to respect a team like BMG, but they're never going to be consistent until they start practicing.
Probosk, anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree on that one. Maybe more so because, like, I'm not 100% sure on this, but it just feels like they're not sacrificing as much time into scrimming and playing as other teams maybe. Like, they have I don't know if they're, like, I often see them playing, like, a lot of other games, which is fine as well, obviously, but I don't really feel like they're playing Han consistently every single day.
Yeah.
I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how it seems. It doesn't seem like they're the ones scrimming the most right now, at least.
No.
I think that would help them a lot if they started practicing more, at least, because they definitely have the skill. But again, I still feel like they had a lot of players who took a long break from Han, and you still see it when they play. Like, they're still top 3 teams because they're so good players, but, like, I don't think they can get really higher than that until they really start sacrificing some time into the game, and it has to be as much as the other 2 teams, like 3 scrims every single day. I think pretty much as well, you know?
Oh, yeah.
To keep on track with that, they need to do the same. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Haxter did make the point that hopefully things could change here in the near future, but, it does seem like that hasn't happened yet, so until that does happen, I think we're going to be on the same boat that, don't know if we should expect a further than top 3 finish from that team, but still, getting 3rd place, nothing to be too disappointed about at the same time from BMG right there. All right, moving on, though. This is kind of a fun one right here. We got, what do you guys think the chances are we see a level 1 Kongor in Cycle 4? And Sandy, you know about this, where we're getting at it. Of course, Willowkeeper doing the level 1 Kongor in that Game 1 of the Grand Finals, ultimately helping win the game as a result. Of course, lost the series in the end, but What do you guys think? I mean, are we going to see a level 1 Conqueror in Cycle 4, or is that one of those things where it's not going to happen for a while again? Mini Maggot?
I think if it's a game cast by Honcast, I don't think we're going to see it, but it might happen throughout the cycle, just like in a random round of 8 match, perhaps. Because it happens. Like, if Sync can get killed out for it in the grand finals of a Congo, I think it can definitely happen to any other team as well, if not more often to the other teams as well. So I'd probably have to give maybe 60% chance.
Yeah. All right, 60% chance, really. That's pretty high up there. Insania, what do you think?
I mean, if Tree's gonna try to go Kong against us again, we'll let him just to learn how to play against it. But I don't think they have the balls to do it, honestly. But I'd expect some other teams to do it though, because even though like we always say it in Sync, we always check Kong, we always say it like in our Skype, check Kong, check Kong, check Kong.
Yeah.
But it just requires that one game, and you lose. So it's not really that big of an investment either. Really, all you're sacrificing is getting wards in ideal positions, like the HP that you lose, a health potion or something like that, it's normally not too big of a deal. You can just use a Cory and ferry it out fairly early. So it's a risk I think worth taking.
All right, and it did, and again helped them there in that game 1. But all right, so but it seems like fairly low maybe from you, Probusk. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like. It seems like to me that there's always like sort of you hear about this team doing Conga, and then it like takes a couple of months where you like everyone will expect it now. So let's like you're gonna wait a little bit to see it again. I think like because people are gonna check now at least because everyone saw it happening. So I don't really see it happening this cycle. I'd see it maybe when people sort of forget about it again.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way with Probusk right there. I think it's I would go with that as again as you probably saw on stream there, guys, and we're at each of these questions. I'll do my best to get the straw poll in chat. So again, you guys can obviously get your opinions as what just happened in the Skype call. That is interesting, actually. Do you guys see webcams anymore?
Nope, I don't see any webcams.
Oh, what the hell?
Well played.
Group
All right.
video is unavailable. Oh, there we go.
Try putting
Insania's
it
back.
back up, yeah.
Just on live again.
Random bug.
All right,
My
there
bad.
we go.
Welcome back. All right.
My bad.
Anyways, we'll blame
I'm
Mini
back.
Maggot.
Still me.
Anyway, so you guys can obviously get involved on the questions, and as you see right here, the community thinks 1 through 30% was what the majority voted for. It looks like, and after that, 0%. So yeah, that's where I would have put myself though, around the 1 to 30. But as you said, it's Provost making a good point that we talk about it a lot. It's like when one team does, especially on Honcast, it's like, okay, now people will be looking for that at least. So maybe don't expect it, but you never know. You never know. So we'll see. All right, moving things along though. Once again here for the podcast, we got our next topic. This will be a fun one here. Now, we've been talking a lot about Cycle 3 and how it's brought a lot of diversity, or Season 3, excuse me, and how it's brought a lot of diversity as far as a lot of different heroes being played. And I believe the number last from Quincy is something like 94 heroes throughout 3 cycles in Season 3 have been used. And there's only something like 121 heroes, I think, in total. So heavy majority of heroes have been used at least once, if not more, in certain cases, of course. And Cycle 3 was no difference. In fact, there was, I think 14 new heroes. I got the list. I can't show it to you guys on screen, unfortunately, but I'll read them out right here, and then I'll get your guys' opinions on what you think and which hero you perhaps we can see again, or which of these were maybe instead just one-time wonder. But so it was Wild Soul, Lord Salforus, Zephyr, Salamon, Midas, Defiler, Pearl, Rampage, Moira, Bushwhack, Soul Reaper, Fade, Dampier, Nymphora, Soul Stealer, and Master of Arms. So there might be a couple on there where you're almost like, wait, really? That was the first time we saw it, but hey, that's facts are facts. So those were the heroes. What do you guys think as far as those? Again, try to keep it a max of 3 here, maybe, but even less than that. But what do you guys think as far as heroes that we could possibly see more of moving forward now? Mini Maggot?
I have to give one shout. Defiler, man, that hero is so strong. We used to see it like ages back, but it's sort of stopped now. But I think the hero is incredibly strong. Like, just because obviously his Q and R is really incredible, but his W is insane. Like, the AoE is very large, and a 6-second silence. Like, there's a lot more sort of team fight heroes coming back. At the meta of team fight is a lot more coming back, and the hero sort of fits it perfectly. And I think the hero is so strong. So I'd have to say Defiler, but obviously you got Nymphora and most likely Fade as well. Nymphora, Fade, and Defiler would be my 3. But yeah, Defiler, man. Defiler, man. It's so strong. I love the hero. I think it's so strong, but I think we're going to start seeing it again. I think it's sick.
Insania, you played a couple of these. What do you think?
I think most of those heroes will probably be seen again. Lord South Forest, probably a lot. I mean, the only game we lost this cycle was against the South Forest, so I'm expecting teams to probably pick that. Probably Midas as well, against us specifically, because we lost it already once. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I for ourselves in sync, I think expect Moira, expect Pearl, expect Wild Soul, expect Soul Reaper.
Defiler.
I don't know about Defiler. I'm not too sure.
I love the hero. I'm biased. But...
It's a cool hero. I like the hero. It's just really hard to draft it into a game and find a situation where you'd rather have a Defiler than something else. Because if you want, yeah.
Probusk, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting question because I have a lot of points to make. One of them being I from the previous Hunter cycle, I learned some new stuff about Moira. Not really a hero that I paid too much attention to, but it seems to be a really situational hero, especially in aggressive lineups that have a lot of point stuns and ganking potential. It seems to be really, really strong because it has insane range, and that illusion thing is really easy to gank. But also to counterpick heroes such as a hag, because I don't know what the spell is called, but it drains all the mana of a hero, and then for 5 seconds it takes to get you slowly regen the mana up, and if you use a spell, then you lose all your mana again. It's so against the hag, that's a huge fucking counter. I played against it once, and it was absolutely cancer. It's such a annoying counter. So that hero, I would definitely see that picked up to counter hag a lot of times. And I like Master of Arms with the global presence, perhaps paired up with the Nophelia or to counter push. And Nymphora, I'm actually pretty surprised. I haven't seen that at all because it seems to be such a strong hero with map control and definitely a very competitive hero. But I don't know. It seems like Pebbles hasn't been picked the most this cycle, so maybe that's why. And you would often see Nymphora paired with either Doctor or Pebbles, and people often tend to ban Dr. Repulsor in the second ban phase, I've noticed. So maybe that has something to do with it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, those 3 heroes, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when I saw this list, that's what kind of stood out to me. Is really, there's a couple of these, as you pointed out. Nymphora especially was one that I was very intrigued by. That we actually hadn't seen it yet. But again, facts don't lie. That's what it is according to Quincy's records right there. That and Master of Arms even, again, as you're pointing out. So it's going to be interesting to I think Master of Arms especially is going to be one. I think we saw multiple times this cycle. I would not be surprised, as you pointed out, the global presence, very powerful to deal with. So yeah, other than that, I don't find maybe a whole... Soul Reaper always has kind of been a niche hero that picked up every now and then, so I would not be surprised to see more of him. But Moira, I would love to see a lot more. I don't know, though. Maybe Insania can come through with us in other supports, but I do think that Moira has always had a lot of potential. And she's personally, I love playing her as well, so thus you can say I love casting her. So we'll see if we see more of her, but more but anyway, so... Who knows? We're at, again, like I said, 94 heroes or something like that have been played so far, for 121 total. So cycle 4, maybe we'll see even more new heroes coming about. Seems like that's kind of been a pattern here. All right, so the next topic here to finish up talking about cycle 4, really, but the next topic would be, which was the crazier stat you guys think? Now this is, as you would expect, pretty interesting here. These 2 stats that we pulled, which was a crazier stat to you guys? Rhapsody going 8-14 with a 36% win percentage. This after just talks of just this being the go-to, a lot of first pick potential, even ban worthy, high win percentage. Cycle 4 not as good, or cycle 3, excuse me, not as good clearly. Or was it the top 2 GPM heroes throughout cycle 3 were actually both played by Dark Lady, who has only even played 3 games in total outside of the 2 games that she got the top GPM. So. What do you guys think about this one? Minnie, again, starting with you.
I think it has to be Rhapsody going 8-14. The heroes, I think the heroes are very, very strong, but maybe other people will disagree. But I mean, for a support to have such a good laning phase and yet have such an impact in sort of mid to late game compared to other secondary supports, I think that's kind of the biggest stat. But I mean, it'd be kind of good to know, or interesting to know, how many times or how many of those losses were from maybe top teams like Zinc, BMG, Tree, and how many times obviously Rhapsody was picked. In the last sort of series, I think we saw a lot of Glaciuses and even Amora again in the last grand final. So again, maybe the top teams aren't starting to pick up Rhapsody, and that's why the stat is going down. But I still think that Rhapsody going 8-14 is kind of a crazy stat to me anyway.
Yeah. Insignia?
I think it's honestly like Rhapsody's been in the comp scene now for almost 6 months, and sooner or later you always get adapted to it. Like you're gonna learn to play against the hero. You're gonna learn to think about the fact that she has an ulti that you have to cancel. It's the same thing with Tempest. When he first came out, of course, it was a lot more impactful than later on. When people learn to deal with it, then it falls out of the meta, and then it comes back again, and then people are like, oh my god, it's so OP. So I'm not too surprised. I think this maybe should have happened a little bit earlier even. But it's probably the crazier stat out of the two.
Not to interrupt, but like, I mean, if you have to focus Rhapsody, who's a solo support in a team fight, that's already broken. Like, I mean, you have no farm on a support. I don't know. Most other supports aren't like the biggest of deals. I don't understand why. Like, if you have to focus on Rhapsody,
why is Glacius not a big deal? Like his ulti does probably more damage than the majority of the carries in the game if you let her channel.
Would you not say
I don't
Rhapsody's
know. I just think that's a weird way to reason. It's like you have a good positioning Rhapsody and a good positioning Pyro. They're both really, really dangerous. I'd say you'd probably be more worried about the Pyro than the Raps. The Raps, all you need really is a stun. You need somebody to be like, hey, you, make sure you save your stun. Be in the fight. Fight with us. Because you don't need to be afraid of getting stunned yourself. And then just make sure you stun the Rhapsody as soon as you can. Or have a tablet. A 2,000 gold item cancels the Rhapsody. There are so many ways to deal with the hero. And she's... I think I talked about this on the last time I was on Honcast. But she's really static in her damage. Like, if you have a mobile team, she doesn't really do too much. So I don't think it's too surprising, but out of the two stats, it's definitely the most surprising.
Yeah. Probusk, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, a lot of the points has already been brought up, but I mean, like Dark Lady, top 2 GPMs, I don't think it's that surprising because we don't really see a lot of like Flash from Ruined Axe heroes. So who is really to compete? A hero that buys a cleaver is, in my opinion, gonna be farming the fastest. So obviously it's gonna be like the highest GPM. And I mean, Rhapsody was like an insane win percent last cycle, and this cycle it's kind of like meh, not so good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think there's much discussion. It's the most surprising factor.
When I came up with this question, I mean, both obviously are interesting stats. That's why put this on for the debate here. But I think I'm gonna complete the universal decision here of Rhapsody having that low win percentage, no doubt, just stands out so much more because of how much praise we've been giving this hero and how much we have seen her. But obviously, you bring up a good point, Minimag. How many of those games were played by Seek and Willowkeeper compared to the other teams and whatnot. But hey, 36 win percentage when she's had upwards of 60-something% throughout the first 2 cycles, I believe, if not even higher. That's definitely something that stands out. The Dark Lady, though, again, one of those cases, she was only played 3 times total. I don't even think she was played before last cycle even. Having the 2 top GPMs, you bring up a good point about the Rune Cleaver, but maybe that's a start, and especially in BMG's case, I wouldn't be surprised if Haxrin plays that more and could do work with it. So we'll see, though, moving on into Cycle 4 once again. So, all right, keeping the progression moving, though. With that said, we got our next portion here. Actually, what happened? Where did the Cycle 2 go? Or Cycle 4? Anyways, okay. Well, I guess we'll just keep it going like this. Okay, so looking forward to Cycle number 4, with that said. Here we are. Let me maximize the bracket right here for you guys to see for yourself. So this is what we're dealing with Cycle 4. These are the matchups here. And again, we'll get into a second as far as what we think about ultimately the matchups and maybe which one we're really looking forward to. But to start off the discussion here for Cycle 4, a fun twist here. What do you guys think are the chances, so kind of like a percent chance, that a North American team gets top 3 here in Cycle 4? Of course, we're referring to Nullstone Gaming and Night Raid, a.k.a. formerly known as The Last of Us, as the 2 teams. Now, it is worth noting, as you see in the brackets here, they are playing against each other in the first round. So, with that even in consideration, what do you guys think is a chance that one of those 2 teams at least will get a top 3 finish? Again, Mini Maggot, we'll start with you.
I don't know, because obviously you have Reason and probably BMG probably going for that 3rd spot as well. And Nullstone Gaming, they have reached the 3rd spot before, I think. Was it Cycle 2 or Cycle 3?
Cycle 3, I believe. Or Cycle 2. Cycle 2.
It was Cycle 2. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With the 2 NAU teams, it kind of feels like they can play incredibly well, or they kind of do sort of die off and luck off. Like the time when they played BMG, like they got wrecked one game, and the next series, I think a couple of days later, they absolutely stomped BMG. So I think if I'm going to put a percentage on it, maybe 30%. I just think Reason and BMG are too strong at the moment for Nullstone and Last of Us to contend.
Insania?
I think they have a pretty good chance. I know that this is going to be the first cycle that Nullstone Gaming is scrimming. We will be scrimming them, I think, Wednesday to... Oh, no, maybe Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday. So I think they're going to do better than they have in the previous cycles when they made top 3 before. So I definitely think there's at least like a 50-60% chance that they go top 3. Because it's really just going to come down to one game, I think. If they can beat BMG or not in the losers bracket.
Yeah, that's obviously going to be a big part of that. So, Pro Busk, what do you think?
Yeah, I think around the same as Minimag had said, maybe around 30% or something like that, because I feel like BMG and Reason are stronger right now. That's just how it is. So, I mean, if they can pull off a victory over them, I mean, they're going to be there, but I don't really see it happening I don't see the percent being too high of them winning that matchup. So I would put it like a 30%.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and vote for 100%. And I'll be the only person that voted for 100%. Because you know why? Because America. No, but really, I really think that one of these two teams is at least going to get top 3. I mean, playing against each other, it's both a good and a bad in a sense of playing against each other in the first round. Because, one team is obviously guaranteed to move on further, at least initially. It's not like they'll both get dropped down to the first round of the losers bracket right away, and then maybe even have to play each other. So at least having that set up, that even kind of helps in a sense a little bit further. But both Nullstone and The Last of Us really did surprise me last cycle. And, hey, they got a new name change and everything. I think America's going to bring it here. North America specifically. Going to bring it here in Cycle 4. So I'm going to be that one guy that votes 100%.
Isn't it funny that we have 3 Europeans here, and then Breaky from America, and Breaky is voting for the American team to be the
I don't know what you're talking about. I realize.
I agree with him, though. I think USA is going to do good.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Faith.
Changes that right there. Yeah.
Look at the bracket, though.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, the winner will then eventually have to play Sync Esports. Great. You guys, obviously, in the next round. Possibly. Unless ICARUS maybe makes something happen there. You never know. That's why the games are played, after all. But, yeah, that's going to be fun. But America, top 3 finish, I don't think that's too much to ask for. So 100% for me.
Okay, can I ask a quick question? I just saw someone asking in the chat, but someone asked, do you think that Team Excellent will go up to Diamond next cycle? Because obviously they didn't get in this cycle.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was...
Are they still a team?
I don't even know.
They are.
They didn't make it to Diamond. Don't think they're still a team. Man.
I'm looking at the gold bracket right now. I mean, let me click on them to make sure that the roster is still okay. They only have 4 players right now, so I don't even know if
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Gonna have 5 or whatever, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That's they had. I think they thought it was going to be a lot easier. Maybe as we've had a couple of cases of that where they were going to just form a team and go through gold, at least make diamonds. Let's just say it wasn't so easy. They definitely had some tough challenges that they ran into. So my answer would be no, personally. I mean, the gold division is just too strong. So I guess we are answering that. But
what teams are in gold now, though? As in, I think Ogre, KNX.
You got Rexars. You got Not Excellent, Twisted Fusion, Frog No Hippo, Wop Dash, Shrek is Love, and Tang Zang Pang. I mean, those are ones that I at least recognize as far as names go. So
I think WAP disbanded actually, though.
I heard that they went through a lot of roster changes / even to disband it. Yeah, so maybe not them, but
yeah, but I mean, I don't think they will actually. Not if they don't scrim. If they scrim, it's kind of the same deal with Excellent as BMG. They have all the potential in the world if they really just put in the effort. But if they don't, they're gonna be stuck in gold and they're not gonna get higher.
Yeah.
Wait, so Not Excellent. Like I don't. Who? Okay, so there's Pew, Penny, Newman, and Messera. I only think Pew was on the actual team. Am I right? So they have 3 new players.
Messera played too. I think Messera.
Oh, okay. So just 2 new players, but they still have to get a 5th. So it's still a pretty much a new team.
Yeah, we got to get a top 2, and again, as we're listing there, I mean it's definitely not easy, and yeah, I don't think so, but who knows? All right, moving on, though, as far as the questions that we have here going along. Let me pull it back up here. Let me get a little more organized. Okay, so the next one would be, here we go, with Sync Esports. What do you guys think? What do you guys think we're going to see Sync Esports repeat as a champion in Cycle 4. And I specifically brought this up because, again, this would be a little bit different than what history has had. And no team has won more than 3 cycles in a row. That includes Stay Green. That includes, TDM in the beginning, Complexity, all these teams. No team has actually won more than 3 in a row. This would be the 4th if that was to happen. So what do you guys think? Again, let's change it up. Let's start with Probusk.
All right. I feel like the chances are a little bit lower than last cycle because there's a lot of teams that has gotten better. I feel I have more faith in BMG this cycle, and I feel like Willowkeeper actually did pretty good the first 2 games against Sync. Like I thought they would actually maybe win when I saw them taking up the first victory of theirs. If you remember that game, that was pretty hectic. So like last cycle, I was pretty sure that Sync would win it. Like, I don't know, I said like 80% or something. I'd probably go with like 50% this time.
All right, so 50% here. Going down a little bit from the last time, but still looking fairly good overall. Mini Maggot, what do you think?
I think they will, because although Tree did look very, very strong and BMG are definitely sort of holding out, like, although in St. Heroes in the cast, like, the Zynga are the best team in Hon right now, and they scrim all the time, they take it incredibly seriously. Like, it's almost like a real job. It technically is like a real job for them that they're being incredibly serious. And when you put that much dedication and effort in, like, you're going to have results. And so I think in that respect, I think Zinc will take the cycle next week as well. But the percentage chance, 80%, so there's still a definite chance. Obviously, we saw Tree take games off of Zinc, and they can definitely do it again. It's just if they have that sustainability and that reliability to take a series off them, I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, Insania, after hearing all that too, are you guys repeating? I think we even asked you in the interview after, but
yeah, I think so. If we lose, it's gonna be to an American team. I don't think there's any chance of us dropping to one of the Euros. We're just too how you kind of American teams are a little bit dangerous because you don't know what to expect. And with the Euros, we pretty much know what they all run. They're dodging us in scrims and stuff too, which is kind of retarded. But that means to us that shows insecurity. They're not confident enough to scrim us. That means they're not going to beat us in tournaments either. So as long as they don't scrim us, I don't think there's any chance of us losing to them.
All right. I think America's winning it all. Not only getting top 3, but the grand finals is going to be The Last of Us versus Nullstone.
Just tell them there's oil and they'll win.
I can't be that biased. I can't be that biased. But I you know what? It's interesting thinking about this because, again, we're talking about it's never happened 4 times in a row. That's the big stat that we're putting out there. Why, maybe this is up for debate here, but the biggest thing with that for me, and I know a lot of people, was though, you think about those times, there was always at least a 2-team rivalry that was interchangeable for the most part. Again, it was Stay Green versus BMG, or I guess XTDM versus Stay Green in the beginning of the Cycle 1 days. So right now, as much as I like Willowkeeper and where they're at, I do think after seeing especially the last couple cycles, how they competed against you guys, I don't know. I don't know if I can sit here and say it's more than I'm gonna go 51%. I'm gonna one up Pro Bowl. I'm gonna say 51% here chance overall. So I still think that's obviously pretty good in the big picture, but so more so than not, probably you guys in sync. But hey, I would love to be wrong in this case. I'm not even. And I have no problem telling you that, man. I would love to be wrong. Absolutely love to be wrong. But we'll have to find out. Again, starts this week in here, so. Okay, Cycle 4, continuing on discussions here. Another place here, and this actually even gets Probusk here involved somewhat. We got, which gold team do we think is going to fare better that advanced on to Cycle 4? Of course, those gold teams that we're talking about are Prime, ICARUS, and Dawn. Dawn, obviously, now picking up Probusk, and, well, he happens to be on the cast with us here. So, we'll start with Minimaga here. What do you think? Which of these gold teams do you think overall should do better?
I mean, I watched some of the games between Primicus and Dawn, and not to sort of, big up Probusk, but the real factor that was the difference between Primicus and Dawn was that they had, a top player, for like Probusk and their team. Like, you were playing carry at some of the games, and you just absolutely wrecked them. And although Primicus, they had a good team, they had some good strategies going into it. I mean, Probusk was the difference, and I think obviously they did come out winning in gold division, and I think they're going to definitely fare better in diamond as well. Although, I mean, it's definitely a possibility that Promiscuous could definitely, do like an upset to a couple of the Diamond teams, but I think Dawn will still go farther in the end.
Insania?
I kind of agree. I think PI, they just lack experience, and from what I've played with Certus and TMM and stuff, he has a little bit of attitude problems, and having someone like Busk on Dawn really just helps, calm the atmosphere down, get him into like a competitive mood, know what to think about, which targets to go for, all these things. I mean, Busk played for Sync before. They were a top 3 team, so he has a lot of experience, and he brings that to the team, which is really important for them. So I definitely think Dawn's going to do better.
And speaking of Probusk, what do you think?
Do I have to answer this question?
Which team do you think is going to do better? No. You don't have. I assume you're going to say Dawn.
Obviously.
So we'll put it this way. What do you think about Prime Icarus?
Well, they were definitely the second best gold team. I was actually pretty surprised that RHAPSODY didn't do better once again. But I think Prime Icarus, they were definitely aside from us, I think the best gold team. Also defeating OGR, so like they're a really solid team. I think Snooey, is he the leader of that team? I think at least he's doing the calls, and I think he's doing a lot of good calls. But yeah, I don't. They have some weird picks, and I don't really see them working too much out. I'm not sure. Like Certus likes to play these kind of really like one of them Uki, for instance. And some of them are kind of easy to counter. So I don't know. We'll see if they switch it up and pick like more so like what I don't know what to say, like in meta heroes or like normalist heroes. And maybe they'll do a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. They're a really good team, I think.
Well, again, they obviously they do have the tough matchup against Sync Esports to kick it off, and just looking at the brackets from that perspective, that's why, if anything, I would definitely pick Dawn. And you joining the team specifically, also I think has definitely helped, and we kind of saw that in the gold event on top of that. So Dawn being against Willowkeeper, I think that's a match you guys could definitely win if you're playing your A game, most certainly. So, but Prime Icarus, you never know, maybe busting out those crazy strats, the Yogi against Sync, and Sync's going to be completely unprepared, and we'll fall apart from there. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be, as always, fun to see how the gold teams kind of make a statement moving in here. And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, if we're in our 4th cycle now, I don't know if at least one of the gold teams has remained each cycle. I guess there's only been 2 chances for that, now I think about it, but still. So at least maybe one of those teams should stay alive. But it is crazy to think at the same time that, 2 of those teams are once again going to be bounced down to gold after the first weekend even. So which of those 2 teams will they be? We'll find that out on Sunday, obviously. And now the last question to really wrap up talking about Cycle 4 here is, of course, which first round matchup are we most excited for? We happen to have a couple players that are playing in the first round, so we'll word it to them a little differently, perhaps. But we'll start with you, Minimag. What are you most excited for out of these matchups, man? They're all pretty damn good matchups, honestly. When I was typing this out, I realized yet again.
But the first matchup or any matchup really?
First round specifically.
First one's got to be Reason and BMG. Like BMG, they definitely have kind of like the big names, and they're probably maybe a higher bit of individual skill. But Reason, they've been scrimming so much. Like they've had scrim partners with Tree, and they've been scrimming every single day. I think they're like even looking for like a caster to have like their own sort of scrims casting and stuff. And yeah, I think they've been putting a lot of effort in. They've got the passion there clearly if they're playing every single day, and they want to be the best. And I think that's going to be a great game to cast, actually, and I kind of hope we do cast that one in the round of 8, because I honestly couldn't give who would win that match. BNG probably the favourites, but Reason Gaming definitely could easily pull up an upset, so I'm definitely looking forward to that game.
Insania, which matchup outside of yours do you think will be a good one?
I think all 3 of those games are going to be exciting. I think every one of those games can go either way. Except for the one with, I mean, of course I have to say that I think
if you were a caster and you couldn't cast Sync versus Prime Icarus, which match would you cast?
Oof, it's a hard call. Probably USA versus USA.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
The thing is, BMG versus Reason we've seen so many times. Who has seen The Last of Us play No Stone? Like, it's USA grudge match. The Americans always talk more shit in Euros because we're Euro chill. So I don't know. I think the USA match should definitely be more fun to watch and cast.
I just put my vote in for that one on the straw poll. So there you Probusk, what do you think, outside of your match, of course?
I would definitely say BMG versus Reason. Like, seems to be two really close to each other teams. Like, I like either one could win, to be honest. Like, it's so close in those teams. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm definitely watching that one. That's gonna be a hectic game.
Yeah, again, all these matches, as I go back to, definitely all going to be very good, and unfortunately, we can only cover one, but, you know, I'm going to say America versus America, but as Insania definitely pointed out there, because Reason versus BMG, although it is a different Reason Gaming team in the end, we have seen that matchup before. The chance to actually cast a U.S. versus U.S. team, or I guess technically North America versus North American team, it's not biased. We have not done that. I can't remember the last time we've casted a North America versus North America team, to be frank. At least in Han Tour, and hell, even out of Han Tour. Especially, you know, the top two teams that are coming from America. So, hashtag USA for me, baby, all the way. As far as the most intriguing first-round matchup. But I'm not saying we're going to cast at one of the end again. We'll see, but we'll see what you got in chat. Yeah, he agrees with me. All right, so, but, yeah, I got to go with America in this case here. Again, that all does start. Looking at the brackets one more time here, guys. This all starts this Saturday, obviously, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European time. We got Cycle 4 going to be coming at you. Now, what will be the halfway point once that cycle finishes up, of course. So, of course, this is 8 cycles here. Going back to the 8-cycle format here in Season 3. So that's obviously another important reason why it's a big deal on top of the individual cycle prize pool, but the overall points and standings. And, in fact, we haven't really talked a whole lot about that on the cast sheet or anything. Let me actually pull up the standings real quickly. How are those looking here? So, obviously, Sinkin, pretty good first-place spot. I mean, you guys have won all 3 cycles, so it makes sense. Willow Keeper, comfortable second. You know, the top 3, it seems like they're all in a pretty good spot. But as you'd expect, maybe it kind of gets a little bit closer in the next couple of tiers. So, again, kind of taking a look at that. You know, still it's at a point where it's not the most important right now, but especially the last couple of cycles come around. That's where it's really good to start paying attention to that and seeing how that's ultimately going to be shaping up there for advancing on to the next stage of this whole event. So, I think that covers, though, both the recap of Cycle 3 as well as looking forward to Cycle 4, unless anything else any of you guys wanted to bring up that's, you think, important there on the cycles at least. Again, as I mentioned, by the way, Night Raid is the new The Last of Us team. So I believe it's still the same team, but they just renamed to Night Raid. I don't know why. It is a pretty cool name, though. So I kind of like that. Kind of like it. I think, if anything, it's because The Last of Us has been around for a while. It's kind of been so many different teams. So
That's true.
I kind of like that they kind of changed.
Yeah, I'm glad they've changed, yeah.
So
it's going to make casting a lot easier.
Unique team than the usual. All right. With that said, let's move on to our next topic here. The next topic actually going to be some good old power rankings. Our bringing back the power rankings here. Again, we did a little bit a while ago. With that said, we got individual power rankings from all of us here, so we'll kind of give our takes. I got them on screen right now. At least we'll start with Minimaga here. You happen to be the first one on it. So, again, we actually moved it to top 10 now. We did have it at top 8, but I think we're at the point where, especially with a lot of these gold teams, a lot more that are competing and whatnot, why not make it a top 10? So, Mini, we'll start with you. And we got your number 1 Sync Esports shocker there. Gets interesting, though, especially in the middle, as you would expect. So, what is your take on all this?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, now looking at the own list I've made, like, now it's in front of me, I think Reason Gaming are going to finish above Nullstein Gaming. Like I said before, they've been practicing so much, and I think what Probus has said as well, TPS Priceless, he's got quite a lot of experience, knows how to lead and stuff, and it's making a big difference as well. So if the top 4 would have to be Zinc, Willow Keeper, Bad Monkey, and then Reason for me, and then after that it'd probably be Nullstein Gaming, and then Dawn. Last of Us and Shrek is Love, and I think Prime Icarus and Rex was obviously at 9 and 10. So yeah, I think The Last of Us and Shrek is Love are going to go down. Last of Us and Prime Icarus are actually going to go down, with Dawn staying in Diamond.
All right. What about let's go to Insanius here. Insania, I got yours on screen now. How do you explain your top? You had an interesting thing with I think it was like 4 through 10 even.
I don't actually have the rankings that I put, but
well, I got it on screen.
Yeah,
so
no, yeah, okay, well, yeah, I stand by that. I think those are that's the top. That's how the teams should rank up, I feel. I'm not too sure about ranks 4 to like 10, because I feel like all of those teams can beat each other. Like, it just really dependent on the day. One day, one team will show up, the next one they won't. They'll just play really weak, and hopefully this is something that will stabilize as soon as they get into scrimming a lot more, and it's kind of Cycle 4 now. They've been together for, 2 months, at least?
Yeah.
So, I feel like they should be starting playing, like, they should be finding their strategies right now. Things should be falling in place. They're just focusing on getting better now. So, hopefully, after the cycle, more teams will start defining themselves as top teams and trying to separate themselves from the little mass of teams that's 4 to 8 right now.
All right, then Probusk. We got yours. Here, let me pull it up actually real quickly. Just had it previously, but there we go. Now we got yours on screen. So, how do you say? Dawn 5, huh? Feeling good about yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a spirit in your own team, else it's not gonna go good. If you're going into a tournament thinking, I don't know, we're probably gonna drop to gold again, then you're probably gonna drop to gold again. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So,
Last
like,
of Us number 9. I think that's the one that stands out to me on your list. You got them pretty low down there.
Yeah, that's actually true. I haven't really seen a lot from them. I also didn't realize they changed the name, so I was just like, wait, are they even in Diamond? But so Night Raid. I don't know. Like, I think it could go either way. I haven't really seen. I don't know even like who is on The Last of Us other than Diglett.
Diglett's not even on The Last of Us anymore. So that's the person that's it's
right.
here. I
Is
got
it
it on screen.
Misery?
All right, so
Misery,
they have.
King Plato, Present 25, Narcy, and Vanilla Fresh.
I mean, I know King Plato
is
and
that?
Present. I think they are the ones from the old team at least, and they were fine players.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, it's pretty tough to call. Like, I don't know. I feel like PI could definitely win over them. I don't even know if that's possible. Looking at the brackets, that they're gonna face each other. Maybe.
Who's that? We got Prime.
Oh, it could actually have if PI. I mean, actually, if they both lose, if PI loses to Sync and Night Raid loses to Nullstone, they could face each other.
In the losers bracket,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if PI defeats Sync.
Yeah, that's easy. That's guaranteed.
There's a number of possibilities. We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like it could happen at least.
Oh,
Alright.
Probus, why are you not on the Hontor team, by the way? Like, if on Hontor,
What? I don't know.
It's not actually there.
I don't know.
I talked to
like,
with it's a kind of a bug right now. Yeah.
Oh, it's a bug.
I think it's
right.
because I was added by Inclin, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't stay or some shit.
Alright, so you left, yeah?
Yeah, he's-
Cool, got it.
Yeah, I
Drama.
definitely.
Got it.
Breaking news.
You got kicked, yeah? Cool, got it, right. Thanks, man. Nice,
Fuck.
cheers.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Here's mine. Not that anyone really cares. Oh, but mine's number 1 as usual.
What is yours? Break it.
What is
I
mine?
can't break
it.
See, I had
Tell
BMG
us,
third.
tell us.
See, honestly, putting BMG third was a little tough for me, even with them getting third place this last cycle, because I want to put Nilsson above them, but especially with the results recently, I couldn't. So I did have to put BMG third. Nilsson fourth for me. I did give you guys Dawn 6th place. Actually, I had The Last of Us behind you guys, so I do kind of agree there. I think Night Raid, it was a fun run for them last cycle. I don't know, even with the new name, I would love to see the momentum continue, but I think it's going to start catching up with these different gold teams even coming in and making some plays. Prime ICARUS 8th. Shrek is Love and Rexars I actually like from the gold division currently as far as. And honestly, Rexars was a little bit hard for me to put too because there's been a lot of talk about Rexars and how. But I feel like a lot of the talk that we've had about them has been a disappointment. Cycle 2, they ended up getting knocked down. Cycle 3 gold, they didn't get, I forget exactly how far they got, but, obviously they didn't advance on in the end. And so it's kind of a lot of that. So I would like to, I still think, and for the most part, it's the same roster at least. And
No, they left. Lolpix left to Dawn, didn't he?
okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit
Probusk?
different then.
Confirm?
He did. I confirm.
He did.
There you go. Confirmation. Heard it first. But so I got them there. This will be my last chance with them, though. If they don't advance on here, and I don't know, I might have to bump them out and put somebody else in for my top 10 moving forward. So, all right, there you go. Again, the power rankings, the article, I believe, you could actually check it out on HonTour.com. Yes, it is up. So, of course, put together by the one and only Quincy. He's took the initiative to start bringing this back and has been doing a fantastic job with this. You can get all the breakdowns of everyone that voted in it and the eventual results on top of that. So, yeah, I'm looking at the overall results, and it's pretty much as you would expect. I don't see anything too standing out there in the end. So there you go. There
You know what,
goes.
Breaky, actually?
What's up?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you might. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Got it.
What?
Wait, he's really robotic to me.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay.
I
was like,
can
can you actually hear him?
no. I'm trolling.
Yeah, and
I
Sania
can't
just
hear him what he's
froze.
saying. Yeah,
Sania just froze on us.
All right. Well, I think what actually stands out to me is that Flensmeister and Tankafit are the only, like they are the only two who rated excellent at like top 6 and 5, even though they didn't qualify to Diamond. I think that is pretty interesting, at least to say the least. I haven't even had them in my power rankings.
Oh my god!
And that,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really surprising. I don't know if they're
Flensmeister?
actually aware of them. Not sure.
Do they not know what teams? I would hope that a captain of the top team in the Han scene right now would actually know
Yeah.
It's
how other
Flensmeister,
teams look,
so-
but that is
Okay,
interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
Some
maybe
love.
they didn't realize, or like maybe they haven't been paying too much attention. I don't know. Could be though. It would actually explain it at least.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean that's why at the same time we do get all these opinions here and put added together with the point system. So, but that does help make it interesting. I will say that. So, but yeah, 5th place by Tankovic. Jeez, he thinks they're
Yeah.
gonna fly through gold apparently and
Yeah,
be in Diamond
Somehow
next cycle.
end up- Yep, bro.
All right, Alexa Consini might be back.
Yeah. Okay, so what I was trying to say was, I actually agree. I really just realized, like, I don't think Tree's going to be top 2 next cycle. I think they are right now, but I don't think they will be next cycle. I've been, like, watching their replays and stuff, and they're only playing against Reason. And this is a really big mistake I feel like they're doing right now, because they're literally only going to be prepared for the things that Reason want. They're going to be like, well, no other team, there's no team that does anything else. So why, they're just preparing themselves too much for Reason. They're only going to think the way Reason thinks. And it's going to be hard for them to read other teams, I feel. And that's going to hurt them a lot this cycle.
Who's going to be top 2 then instead of 3?
Yeah, who do you?
I think BMG, Null, NR, P. I don't know anybody really. I just don't think it's Tree. I think Reason and Tree probably not going to do as good as I would want them to do.
But Tree have Boxy though in Senia, so
That's a good point.
Good point. Good
I
point.
can't.
No, but like I'm trying to be serious now, okay?
No, I mean, and
I'm being serious.
I'm looking at the brackets here again, and again, as I brought up initially too, they could lose their first round matchup against Dawn. I would not be surprised by that. So that's one of those cases where they could get knocked out of losers bracket right away, and then it's anything. And hell, their next matchup, I guess worst case scenario I'm looking at now, they lose to Dawn, they get matched up against the loser of BMG Reason. Obviously, another matchup that they could easily lose. So, I agree with you in that perspective. I disagree in the sense, there's a reason why they got to the grand finals the last 2 cycles, and moving forward. But if what you're saying is true, maybe practicing, not putting as much attention on other teams, definitely could catch them off guard even with that first round matchup. So, hope for their sake that they're going to be ready for it. But
I mean, that's a really rough bracket. Like the bracket is insanely rough. If you look at last cycle, I mean, they struggled against BMG. I don't want to be like that, but I feel like the only reason they beat us was because of Concord. But
well, as you pointed out in the
So, like-
interview,
so, like,
you let
I
them
don't really
do
feel
that.
like they've been.
but-
Yeah, obviously.
of course.
I don't know. I just don't think they're not. I don't feel like they're looking like a solid number 2. Is what I'm trying to say. Like they are still like maybe a step ahead of everybody else, but it's not far between them and BMG, between them and Dawn, between them and Nullstone and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
BMG are screaming as we speak, though, to be fair. Just saying.
Oh, they
How
are.
about that?
Damn. That's
Who are
good.
they scrimming against?
damn.
Ogre.
Shrekker's Love? Oh, there you go.
Yep, Shrek's love.
Good. It's something
Told
there.
ya.
Good job.
They're screaming. BMG. Gonna be number 1.
They're
Oh,
trying.
guys, I'm sorry. I gotta run. We gotta go scrim.
Are you going to be screaming BMG?
Yeah, sure. Someone. If BMG's scrimming, we gotta scrim, man.
Yeah, right.
Can't waste time.
Yeah, gotta. All right, well, we're not gonna be too much longer here. We're not gonna be too much longer. Okay, so let's speak of that. Let's move on here. There's one more thing, and then we're gonna get to the fun power questions to finish things off. But there's a couple of notes I did want to make here to give some love again to the international Han scene that is out there. Fantasy especially does a great job of keeping myself and thus as well as the community updated with his articles on HonTour.com the best that he can. CIS and Southeast Asia, there's definitely still obviously very strong scenes going in both those locations. I will see a lot of CIS Twitch.tv streams lately, broadcasts of their matches, early on in the morning for the American crowd, but, afternoon time frames for the European. If you haven't noticed that, guys, definitely look forward to checking those out. I don't know the specific times, but some good coverage there. But anyways, there's a couple of notes that I wanted to make here before moving on. Mecca won the CIS Cycle 3 for the CIS Han Tour. So their third cycle. They have, I think, 6 in total is what they do. But the reason why that's kind of a big deal is because Cats and Swag have been the only teams to win in CIS throughout history for them, throughout Han Tour. And I believe this is even their third season as well. So Mecca, a new team, has kind of broken onto their scene apparently. And I look forward to seeing what they can maybe do. Continuing to move forward. Another note was that Dominatrix won the 4th female title in a row. We actually talked about these girls on a previous podcast. And I say girls, yeah, that's actually an old girl team over there in Thailand. They actually they have a pretty strong female scene apparently when it comes to Heroes of New Earth. And the reason why this one was even extra important was because this was the first time they'd done an open tournament for the female scene. The previous ones had just been kind of invites only. So this was open to the whole community, and they still won this one. So Dominatrix doing some work over there in the Thailand female Han scene. We'll see if compete further. But MRR won a 2nd Thai Han Tour cycle in a row. There's some interesting things going on, though, with that said. MRR, you probably recognize that name. We've definitely known about them for a while there from the Thailand Han scene. So they've won the first 2. There's only 4 cycles in total for them. But the interesting thing about this last cycle, apparently there is, as Fantasy put it, a lot of dirty ringing going on. Not only from MRR, they actually were punished, penalized points and everything, but they still ended up winning in the end. But the top 4 teams all had process of dirty ringing, as, again, Fantasy put it. I don't know the specifics, but apparently the top 4 teams were not using players that you're supposed to be using, and that was found out throughout the cycle. So I wasn't able to get much further information outside of that. I don't know if anything further is going to happen, but there you go. Any dirty ringing going on in the North American European scene? Any inside information?
Yeah, maybe.
It's in from us space go like, let's just not talk about that.
I heard there was at least one team, I think, last cycle.
Yeah?
It was in gold, though, not in diamond.
I'll have to get some detectives out there.
But that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, that was interesting to hear. And, again, I just want to get all that out there because, like I said, it's good to at least keep some updates there. And, ultimately for the World Finals, obviously, as we've had last season and whatnot, and we eventually get to see at least a couple of these teams on the big stage. And so a little bit more, I guess, preview of what to expect to come. So anything you guys want to add on any of that I went over there? Any information or any opinions that you have? Nothing? All right. Do you guys think, I know with very little research, but do you think CIS or Thailand is going to be able to compete at an upcoming world event?
Yes. I think MRR are probably the number 2 team in the world right now. And I'm just basing this off of us. Am I robot again?
No, you're good.
No.
Okay. No, but I'm basing that off of what I saw from them in Thailand last year. And I mean, they were not a lot worse than SG and BMG, and SG and BMG were both looking really, really strong back then. So I think they're probably going to be one of the hardest teams to beat in the future as well. But it's hard. It's so hard to know when you don't see their games. You don't see what they're doing.
But it's true though. Like if they're playing like a lot, almost, I don't know what's the money like in. I'd assume it's like the scene is obviously bigger in Thailand. I know that, but so if the scene is bigger, then obviously they've got to be practicing more and sort of trying harder to get the wins and try and be top. So, and whenever you put that much effort into something, then you're gonna be good regardless. So, of course they've got to be some kind of threat to sink eventually, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, obviously, we've had this discussion a lot in previous events and DreamHacks and World Finals and whatnot, and I feel like I've gotten to the point where I keep saying, like, yes, I'm expecting this will be the time, and then it doesn't really happen, and the North American European teams come in and do work. So we've had a couple of cases that we've actually seen them perform pretty well. Of course, most memorably, in fact, the recent World Finals, I believe, was MRR beat Stay Green, if I'm not mistaken, in the group stages. initially on. So there was that. So it's possible. It's possible, but we'll have to wait and see obviously down the line.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember one DreamHack where it might have been like 2000. I don't know actually.
One of them.
Exactly, but it was like Orange Esports, and there was so much hype about them. It was crazy. There was so much hype about Orange Esports, and they were gonna like win everything. And it's just like, oh, okay. They didn't really do too like. It was just like a top 10 team. It was not like like they didn't really like do as good as everyone. There was too much hype about it. That's what I'm getting at. Like, yeah, pretty much. So like I think there's a lot of has been a lot of overhype around these teams the previous kind of years. But I mean, prove me wrong. I don't know. I don't have too much faith in them because of that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, as we stated earlier, like we don't really follow their games, and it's pretty rare that to like never like we don't like none top 10 teams really scrims SEA teams because like what it's not really fun scrimming with 600 ping, you know. So it's pretty difficult to see which is actually the better team until they actually fly to next to each other and they both can compete at normal pings. So
yeah, you kind of just have to go off of results at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So. Not much else you can do with that. Fantasy is messaging me about something real quickly. Okay, so yeah, he's making a point that all the teams were actually punished that were using the dirty ringing, and they actually got money fined from them from their winning. So, you know, pretty serious there, as well as some points taken away. So, definitely there were punishments. It's not like they just got away with it by any means in the end. So, that's definitely good to hear at that point too. But okay.
You guys think about this question?
Yes. Now we're on the last part. This is we did this last podcast too. This time though, I prepared a little better. So this last part is just as I call it, whatever speed questions, power, whatever you want to call them. Basically, it's supposed to be where within 5 to 10 seconds at the most. Keep that in mind, guys. Try to answer these questions that are going to be coming at you. Here, we'll keep the same order every time. It'll be Mini into Insania into Probusk, as far as that's concerned. So this time I did not show you guys the questions beforehand.
Yeah.
So even hopefully even a little bit more of a true reaction to some of them. Let's see. So starting things off here.
Do I have to go first?
Yeah, of course you have to go first. Gotta think on
Okay, go.
your toes. Okay,
Shoot.
here we go.
Shoot.
All right, first question. Which is the best Soul Theater map in the top 4? Have you guys even looked at the Soul Theater map?
Oh
Here,
man.
let
No. I know. It's got to be Legion 2D. I love Legion 2D. I used to play it like back in Warcraft 3.
There you go. I put the link in chat. Those are the top 4 right there. So you guys can check right now. Here, I'll let you guys prep for that one. That was probably a bad one to lead off with. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's got to be. I think it's Legion 2D, definitely. That is insane. I love that.
Is Legion TV even one of the top 4?
Yes, it was New Earth Defense, isn't it? That's Legion
New
2D.
Earth Defense. Okay, that one.
Yeah.
Talking about. Okay.
All of them look so sick. Though. I want all of them to be in home.
That would be great. All right, so now that you've had some time to look at it, so you think the New Earth 2D?
Yeah, I loved it back in Warcraft 3. There wasn't like a Pudge Wars, so I had to pick Legion 2D or New Earth Defense.
I'm glad there's not a Pudge Wars, honestly.
What? Someone
I
please.
think that whole idea is just so overused and overhyped, and it's like, yeah, but it's like, is it really that fun? I don't know. I don't think it is, but maybe I'm
Thanks,
right
Breaky.
there.
Just ruined my hopes and dreams.
I'm glad it's not on you, damn it. Insania, have you looked at this yet? Any opinions?
Yeah, I've watched all those videos. I didn't actually. I think probably I have to agree. It's the only one that I recognize from Warcraft 3. So New Earth Defense probably is the best one of them, I think.
Yeah. For Bus?
Yeah. I was really hoping for someone to make the Iceland Troll Tribes. If you guys remember that.
Oh,
from
that's so
Warcraft
much
3.
fun. Yeah.
That
I
was.
remember that one.
Oh my god, that was like the best map ever. It was so
Nobody
fun.
played that though. Nobody played that though.
What about
Well,
Blinders? You
early
guys
in the-
remember Blinders?
God. Anyways, that was a great game. But I'd have to go with the Legion New Earth Defense as well, because Legion TD was pretty fun as well. I remember.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's no Aeon of Strife on here. That was a fun custom map that I used to play.
Which?
Never mind. It's
Why didn't
a
they-
thing.
Why don't they have like
Uh,
Dota All Stars or something like that? That's-
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, the Greenlands actually, I think is one I voted for, and because that's like a capture the flag kind of one. It's almost like a Wrathy Basin is what I got from it to an extent. Warsaw
Warsaw.
Gulch from World of Warcraft, I guess more so, yeah.
So,
So
can't break
that
it.
idea seems fun, but like I said, it would be really cool if we could even get all 4 in. But I think it's going to come down to, unfortunately, 1 at least initially. So we'll see. Any one of them should be a lot of fun when they do come in. All right, so that was a very long speed question there. Okay, let's try another one here. Hopefully this one's a little easier. That is the wrong question. Okay, we'll go to this one. That is also the wrong question. What did I do here? I failed.
There it is.
Okay, I spelt this wrong. Anyways, name a player that isn't well known by the masses that we should look out for. Maybe a player that we don't know a whole lot about, but you guys being players yourself, I assume.
Is this current or
Just currently?
like,
Currently.
past? I don't know if you'd count Mazera as like popular, but I think he's a really sick
that's
player. Like, he's a pro player. I had the privilege of playing with him, so maybe that's why I say it. But I think he's really strong.
All right, so there you go. And Sandia, you have any names?
Yeah. What's the tree suicide player name?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my
Boss, do you have any
Boxy?
names?
Boxy? Yeah, Boxy. Boxy.
I don't know. This is such a hard question. Like I don't know. It's pretty hard. Like you guys would know the name of.
What
any
about one of your
player that I would
teammates?
name.
There's got to be one decent player.
You don't know my teammates.
Nobody? Any
What?
name?
Like, it's like naming a player, like a team that's already in Diamond. Like, if you can't.
Well, I mean, just because they're in
Oh,
Diamond doesn't
You
mean we
said
know them. Like, by knowing, I meant like we know a player like Insania. We know a player like Pro Bus. These are big names.
I think I got one. I think that Iceland Go is a really good jungle player.
Okay,
I agree. Actually,
That is.
there you go. That's definitely a good one right there. All
he
right.
plays weird too. Plays like jungle doctor and stuff like that. Like he's.
Yeah.
You remember I talked to you guys about slot plays?
Yeah.
Iceland Gogo's one of those kind of players. Like you never know what to expect, and that makes him so good.
All right. Which hero needs a buff the most, off the top of your head?
Oh,
Mini
crap.
Maggot.
Can't spring me on that. Can you come back? I'm
Oh, you're
thinking.
so bad at this, Insania.
I'm sorry.
I think Keeper of the Forest.
Oh no! Don't give me that.
What?
I don't know.
Nice.
We've had too long without Keeper. I miss Keeper.
All right. Kick.
Are you kidding me?
The troll is
Kick
so
from
strong
Scott.
right now. Probusk, what do you think?
What?
I think. I like. You know what I think? I still think you need to buff Nighthound's Cloud.
Bringing him back in.
Underpowered hero.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, you brought that up last time. That is true. There's a couple of interesting ones we brought up in chat. Monarch actually brought up Ikezu.
Oh yeah, Monarch,
I
dude.
think
Monarch
Monarch's
is so
Monarch
bad.
is and Monarch is pretty pro to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Her
artillery.
Q,
Artillery.
her Q at level 4 does like 50 damage over 2.5 seconds. It's like retardedly bad.
Yeah.
Artillery, go.
Artillery is OP, man.
Oh,
That's why
Keeper
we see-
Keeper Tempest Ophelia buffs, please.
God,
all
please
right.
no.
All right. Well, and
Die in
then
a fire.
the last one was simple one. Which team will win gold? Psycho 4. Simple question, right? Which team will win gold? Again, I got the brackets on screen right here too. I can't even link it to you guys if you didn't have it right there. If you want to take a look yourselves, but so which team do you think will win gold? Again, a lot of decent options here. In the end, Mini Maggot. Yeah, you got any?
Always have to go first. Who's gonna be top? I'm gonna say something different. I'm gonna say Frogno Hippo, because no, actually, wait. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Frogno Hippo because I remember casting these guys back with Beef actually when we was doing the Hontop qualifiers, and they brought out like some crazy cool heroes. Like back when we never used to see Polywog Priest, we saw Polywog Priest, and they just picked loads of like non-meta heroes, and I don't know. I got some good voodoo and mojo about these guys. I got a feeling.
All
I
right.
believe.
Frog no hippo. That's a stretch right there. Insania.
I think Ogre's gonna probably win. I think Ogre's gonna win the Cycler Gold. They've been looking strong. They've been changing a lot of their players, but I'm good friends with Cluck, and I've been talking to him a lot about strats and stuff, and he sounds like he knows what he's doing. So I expect him to win.
Yeah, Dirty Ring in as well.
Oh my god. I did the mistake of clicking on their team, and their team icon is just. I
Is it Shrek?
Probus, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with OGR as well. And like, I'm not sure. Like, I clicked at Warp Dash, and like, it didn't really seem like they had a lot of the original players.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true, but it seems like they're missing on Nav and another guy. I don't know. We'll see if they can find 2 good players. But yeah, I'd have to go with OGR because they think they have the consistent 5, as far as I know.
All right, so Shrek is Love. Couple of votes right there. Again, they were in Cycle 1, obviously, and as far as Diamond is concerned, so it would not be surprising. Definitely not unfamiliar territory for them. Yeah, like their chances. I think Twisted Fusion definitely can't forget about how they were in the previous cycle as well. As far as Diamond is concerned, wouldn't be surprised to see them going back in the end. But and then Not Excellent. Who knows what's going to happen with their team? Maybe. All right, so that's honestly all the questions I did have for that, but I think we actually got a special treat right here.
Ooh.
I guess. Okay.
Does it feature the community trader?
Yes, it does. Okay, so now my whole graphic's going to be screwed up. But anyways, as you can see, the one and only...
What? Can I cast?
That is
right.
Waza.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me all right?
We can
hear you.
Just
All right.
fine.
Hello, Aaron?
Ja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Ja, ist
We can
gut,
hear
ja?
Oh, God.
Where's
All
Cam?
right, what is I was told to bring you on the call.
So I'm listening to the podcast, and I'm listening to all these trolls talk about what they want buff, what they
Who's
want
trolling?
brought back, like talking about Keeper of the Forest getting buff, like that's ever going to happen. And then we're talking about Monarch, and so I thought I'd come on Skype and give all the viewers just a little sneak peek to what's coming in the upcoming balance patch. So the balance patch, we just did a carry one, and now we're going to be doing a support oriented one. We're going to try to make a lot of the supports feel good and have a lot of stuff that they can do. One of the things that everybody's been complaining about has been Monarch for ages, and how Monarch overlaps with Glacius and is kind of a turd of a hero. So we're reworking them. And I thought I might as well just kind of give you guys a little sneak peek. Monarch is getting a rework to his E. Noxious Cloud is being completely removed. I'm not trolling.
No.
He's going completely away. We are replacing the Noxious Cloud with caterpillars. And what happens is it's this extremely long cast range, and you target an area, and this little caterpillar will spawn at your location, and it'll kind of like wiggle its way to where you want it to go. And when it gets there, it turns into an invisible ward that lasts just as long as a regular ward, has all the same day-night vision that a regular ward has, and it will basically be the first support hero in Han who does not have to actively purchase wards because we give them to him for free. So the role here is we're trying to remove the overlap that he had with Glacius and make him more of a defensive support rather than having the offensive capabilities. Of course, we buff the crap out of the Q so it does more damage to compensate for the loss of the Noxious Cloud. And we're making the W heal a lot of damage up front to be like this burst heal and then a heal over time, so you can actually counter initiate with it. So he's kind of like this counter initiation, super defensive support duder. Yeah, we're looking at doing stuff with the ultimate too, but nothing's confirmed on that yet. But so look forward to that type of Monarch. I've heard from the competitors, some of them, it's going to be pretty solidly broken to have 8 wards on the map. So we might, y'all might just got because you can buy 4 and then you have 4.
Yeah.
So technically you can get 8, and that may be a little OP. It might be a little strong, but they're also they're also like scout wards, so that if you get close to them, you can see them and kill them. So you don't have to buy a bunch of counter wards all game long, countering Monarch's regular wards.
Well,
So
it can't be worse than Solstice. So
Shots fired.
seriously. It was my first. It was my best.
Have you heard that one before?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Community trader.
Other than that, I've got there's a ton. There's got to be right now. I'm looking at 40, 50 plus changes that are looking already confirmed for release. It's gonna be in sometime in December, and I've been working closely with the competitors to make sure that a lot of their requests are being met, and that there's a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm looking at reworking a few other guys, and there's, it's a lot of support items are going to be easier to obtain and all that jazz. Yeah. So.
Huh. Well then, caterpillars coming to New Earth.
Caterpillars coming to New Earth, man. Little squiggly things on the ground. You can kill them. So if you can attack them on their way to their destination.
Oh.
Counterplay.
That's cute.
You can kill them. But once they get there, they turn invisible and become a ward. Yeah. So.
Interesting.
A lot of pubbers will also like that when if your buddies bully you into playing a support you don't want to play them, at least you can pick Monarch and not have to spend all your money on wards.
Yeah.
Or you pick Soul Stealer.
Yeah, or that.
Also, sis.
But also troublesome heroes that you guys are complaining to me all the time about. Cthulhu Font is seeing a sizable nerf. I did tweak it a bit because the competitors, Aiden including, into all that, they kind of readjusted where they wanted to see the Cthulhu Font. So Cthulhu Font is seeing a pullback. We're trying to reevaluate kind of the more cancerous type of heroes right now in pub play. So Cthulhu Font, Parasite, some of those are being tweaked a little bit. Not too much, but enough to not cause
What about
problems.
Swiftblade?
Swiftblade is not being touched at all because he's awesome.
Rhapsody.
Rhapsody,
Not okay. 38% win, man.
Rhapsody. From what I got from I was thinking, give her a small little nerf, give her a small little tweak, right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think
And people are saying that's fine. A lot of people are getting that, but then I got this one really loud, obnoxious voice, just constantly,
do I know that guy?
rah, 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 and it goes by the name of Aiden, and it's just like constantly, Rhapsody's fine, Rhapsody's fine. Buff other supports, don't nerf Rhapsody. I'm Aiden. So that's
I miss Kyle. Where's Kyle? He always took this shit.
Oh boy.
So
Bring back
right
Swindle.
now, that's the only thing holding me back from doing a nerf to Rhapsody. If I do something with Rhapsody, it'll probably be a focus towards Staccato.
yeah. Just buff everything else.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah, we're trying to bring everything up because you guys don't like seeing your favorite stuff nerfed. We understand, but we're always trying to keep we don't want to bring everything up to cancer level. Like if Cthulhu Font is considered just unfun, we don't want to buff everything up to unfun. You gotta tweak things.
yeah. I don't know if you're listening earlier, Aaron, but we were even talking about last cycle. Rhapsody was 8-14. It's only 36% win percentage actually. So she actually did awful last cycle as far as
Stats lie though. Stats lie. I think
Stats lie this time.
What do you
I'm pretty
mean?
sure
What do you
Quincy.
mean?
No, Quincy's
What
like.
do you mean?
To be
He was
honest,
last
What? Quincy
Slapped
just
at MVP last cycle.
face.
to be honest, when I thought when we gave the base mana pool to Glacius' passive, dude, I thought that was GG. I thought
It is
Glacius
GG.
all day, every
Glacius
day,
is
but
OP,
you
yeah.
guys still don't touch Glacius.
What?
No,
Are you
Glacius
serious?
has picked
Last
up
time you picked
fair.
Glacius.
It is picked up a lot.
Say that to Dennis. I'm so tired of playing shitty Glacius every game.
Artesia is always being looked at. Here's the thing: Artesia overlaps with everything and is super dumb and boring, and I hate her.
No.
But
Good hero.
there's something that needs to happen with Artesia. We're still looking into it. Actually,
Is she though?
Sandy's
I
been
don't know.
trying to help me out with what we can do with.
Spamming missiles at a global range is fun, man.
It's super fun and it has no overlap with Bombardier.
Okay,
or-
Aaron, I got a video for you. Go watch it. Artesia's OP.
All right. If you guys, if any of you guys have, I'll let like one solid chat question on the next balance patch, and I'll just straight up whatever you want to know. I'll tell you what it is.
All right, well,
Straight up answer.
there you
anything
go.
balance
Here's your chance,
related.
guys.
What's your question? I mean, I need to see some spam here. What do you want? What do you guys want to know?
Let's try to choose a good one here. Why don't
I'm
people pick
posting
more
it.
Demented Shaman? That's not a good
That's not what I want to answer. But we're buffing Demented Shaman.
one. All right. Oh, God.
Why did you betray the community by releasing Solstice? It's mainly because I'm largely overweight and I can't balance my diet, so I can't balance.
What?
As that's been told to me before. That's been mentioned to me several times.
Yeah, man, if you can't balance your diet, how can we trust you to balance on?
So, Glacius needs a move speed buff. We're not doing that. Was there's going to be more early game junglers? Hell yeah, I'm about to play an SBT game 1 of 1 now. Are you nerfing Gemini, Silhouette, and the Dark Lady? The Dark Lady, no, and I don't even know what you're thinking for the Dark Lady. Silhouette is super fucking broken, and I did that on purpose, and you guys still aren't owning enough with her. Gemini could use something, could use a tweak, but I have nothing planned for Gemini. Forsaken Archer rework on W is in the works. I don't know if it's going to come this next balance patch, but it's something that we are actively working on. Vindicator is also being looked at. Martyr, I don't know, not really anything super special. So instead of answering one question, I'm just like jetting
you're just
through.
kind of going through.
I got one quick question. Is there going to be a gold base increase this patch?
Oh, so we just recently increased the gold tick in SBT to kind of see if that helps supports what they did. It's not something that we're going to do. There's better ways of doing it, and that was not one that we decided to go with. But yeah, we are trying to actively make supports not as miserable to play in Team M and make their effective. Let them acquire more items and let them get more stuff. So it should be cool for all you support players out there.
Is there any new heroes?
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have
Kane. Kane's coming.
Dang. There's some.
Kane.
There's some.
Kane's coming. You guys go to the our heroesonearth.com and you'll see a little teaser there. No, it is not, and I hate all you turds who say that. It's probably just Avatar. No, we're not going to make a super badass splash page for all Avatar. It's a hero, and it's coming soon. Kane.
Coming soon.
Soon.
Super
To
cool.
a Earth near you.
Soon.
Yeah.
To New Earth near you. Spotlight should be out soon. It should be fun. All right. Anyways, the SB tiers are freaking out that I'm not starting this game, so I'm off to make Han a better game. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. There you go, guys. Waza joining us. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
There you go. That's Balance Guy, Waza, joining us. Surprise visit on the podcast, and hey, good to have him. Obviously, it's not everyday opportunity that the community gets the chance to hear from the man himself and get their input and questions answered that they may have had. So definitely shout out to him for coming on and helping with that. And hey, he was not afraid. He was just going, man. He was just answering questions, and that was fun to see. All right. Anyways, with that said, I think that does mean we're ultimately going to be ready to come to a close here as far as the podcast goes. So let's start doing that part. Let's start the whole wrap-up part here. Let's go across the board. We'll start with ProBusk first here. ProBusk, thank you for joining us. Any shout-outs?
No
Anything
problem.
you want to say here?
Yeah, shout out to Dawn. Shout out to my stream, Twitch TV/ProBusk. Haven't done too much streaming lately, but I'll try to get it on one of the coming days. Shout out to my Facebook page, which is /ProBusk. That's about it. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. Good as always. Inia, what about you?
Shout out to Dawn. And shout out to Arian, no problem, man. Shout out to Slapstream, twitch.tv/Shreezy. He streams every day except Saturdays. Please make sure to turn off adblock because he makes his living off of Han. And if you guys have ads on, he makes no money and is a sad slap and is gonna have to move out. So make sure to check him out.
Okay. Oh boy, Mini Maggot, what do you got?
Yeah, just shout out to the podcast, man. It was good fun, and I might eventually start streaming if I can get my own flat, which is hopefully in the works in the next couple of weeks. But we'll see.
The Mini Maggot stream going. Nice. From me, shout out to, as always, you guys for tuning into the podcast here. Another great show in the books here. I'll get this up on YouTube, of course, as soon as possible. Again, obviously, On Tour Season 3 Cycle 4. It does start this weekend at 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time on Saturday. with the very first round of the round of 8. So going to be another great day in the books here, or going to be ahead of us with that said. But until then, we're going to be wrapped up here on Honcast. Another shout out to Waza once again as well for joining us, surprise visit, and giving us some nice answers there for those that the community had. So, all right, we're officially out here, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you next time here on Honcast. Thanks once again for joining us.